The big questions are often the one we are too afraid to ask ourselves. Every one of us here would have feared to ask a question at some point. People are afraid to ask questions for fear of looking stupid. But at the end of the day, it is we who are going to be fooled when we refuse to ask a right question at the right time. This is how I overcame fear in my life. It was our biology class and our ma'am was teaching about mitosis. I couldn't understand it, but I figured I could get it just sitting there. Then this guy raised his hand up and said, "Ma'am, I couldn't understand it. Can you explain it again?" Boom! I had this startling insight. Up until then, I was afraid to ask questions like that for fear of looking stupid. But this guy didn't appear stupid. He seemed to be the smartest guy in the class. People who overcome fear and ask questions had always been successful in their life. Now I know a common question will pop when everyone said, "What? How does asking questions influence our life?" And you will start thinking how this happens. If I am right, this is a live example. The question, how does questions influence our life, is itself a question. It was just a thought when you first hear it. But it transforms into an idea which again lead away to a new question. Today, I want to explore how this chain of questions influence our life and the need for quest of questions. Firstly, questions create connection. Everyone knows communication is the base to build a strong connection. But what if I tell you questions create connection? It was the first day of our new academic year and I could see a boy who was standing in front of a school auditorium entrance right there. He was being very nervous on leaving his old school and friends. In order to make him comfortable, I went there, patted on his back and asked, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Wait, you all may think, how does this question create connection?" But on that day, I didn't know that he is going to be my best friend ever. So imagine, what if I didn't ask that question? I could have lost a person who truly cares me, who had always been in my side, guiding me and supporting me. Questions create interpersonal connection. Connection with yourself comes in the moment of silence, but connection with others comes when you begin to ask a question. Secondly, questions decide our future. Just like the way we look at the scintillating stars through a telescope, the same way questions act like the telescope and provide a clear vision to our future. The questions that really matter are the one you ask yourself. That is self-questioning. What happens when you ask question to yourself? This would create a magic in everyone's life. And this magic also happened in life of Buddha. We all know the four sides which changed his life totally from a prince to the enlightened one. He self-questioned himself. Will everyone get old someday? Will everyone become sick someday? Or will everyone die someday? All these questions transform to become a new question. How are the people still happy when they already know they are going to die someday? This question made him to search a way to overcome death, and he found the eightfold path and the four noble truths. And coming to my life, earlier deciding my goal was an onerous task for me. I was nearly good at every subject, so I couldn't find where my true interests lay. I was going with the flow. And speaking of my father, he was an erudite person who dreamed to become a doctor. But due to some reasons like lack of guidance, he was not able to achieve it. On behalf of him, he wanted me to become a doctor. Initially, I just thought it unfair. And then I self-questioned myself. What do I aspire to become? And you know what? My mind was a dead pan. And then I thought for a while. It is my parents who did everything for me. It is they who guided me, supported me, sacrificed their own desires for me. It's just fair to choose their desire as my dream. From the day I started to boost up my skills and to enhance my curiosity towards science, I was determined to become a pulmonologist. See how one question changed my aimless life into a decisive one. This is the power of a question. What happens when others question you? At this juncture, I want to share you all an incident which created an immense impression in my life. When I was in my grade 6, I was bullied by my classmates. My English teacher suggested me to inform this to a superior staff. I went and told her. She just asked one question. If a dog barks at you, will you bark at it again? I said no. This question created a huge impact and triggered the intuitive behavior in me. And I would proudly say that it is this question which has made me to stand here and speak before you all as a TEDx speaker. Allow others to question you. Let that question create a spark and hold on to that spark. Questions not only decide your future, but also determine your success. Remember these 3 questions, which would create magic in your life if answered correctly. First question, what action did you do today that moved you towards your goal? And in contrast, we have the second. What action did you do today that prevented you from achieving your goal? What new step did you take today that accelerated your work? Now coming to the first question, what action did you do today that moved you towards your goal? Most of us here have a goal, but only some of us work for it daily. Answering this question will help you to find the key behavior to achieve your goal. It's like rekindling your winning spirit. What happened? What action did you do today that prevented you from achieving a goal? Apart from doing things that move us towards a goal, what we do more is procrastinating, which should be avoided. Now coming to the third question, what new step can be taken in order to achieve your goal? Taking a new step in order to achieve your goal will make your progress even easier than before. It's like adding a catalyst in order to speed up the reaction. Knowing these questions is cool, but that alone is not enough. We need to know how to answer this question. Here is my mantra to answer this question. And the mantra is FAME. F-A-M-E. FAME. F. Focus on one goal. A. Answer the 3 questions every day. M. Minimize your mistakes. And E. Evaluate your results. If this mantra of FAME practiced regularly would bring you a thriving success and a renowned fame. Questions lead to innovations. The power of questions is the basis of all innovations. Questions are the key to innovations and breakthroughs. All the innovations and experiments which exist now would not be possible without a question. People who asked questions had come up with the most innovative and successful ideas. The simplest question for innovation is, why aren't people doing this? This question arose in the mind of a farmer near Madurai. Murugesan, a farmer by profession, was a school dropout. He studied only up to 8th standard. Following his father's footsteps, he took up farming and learned some nuances from his father. He said, in 2009, a thought occurred in me. Why don't we make a product out of this waste banana fiber? It could be recycled to make a value-added product. Some mocked at me and some discouraged me. I did not pay attention to their ridiculing and discouraging comments. In 6 months, I was able to make a hand rope making machine. I got this inspiration from a coil rope making machine. With my invention, I was able to make a 3,000 meters of banana rope in one go. Till now, I have trained 1,500 people from several states, and I am trying to impart these skills to women in African continent. I have changed cattle sheds into production unit with 6 workers. Murugesan is a role model to those who have achieved something or are trying to make a mark. Innovation comes when you embrace the unknown. If you want to do new things, you need to stop thinking in the old ways. The most serious mistakes are not being made as a result of wrong answers. The true dangerous thing is not asking the right question at the right time. An answer isn't hard to kill, but a strong question is immortal. Believe in that immortality. It is the immortality which brings us success. It is the immortality which brings us creativity. And I hope so. It is going to be the immortality which would get me applause. Thank you.